Hello, my name is Dr. Scott Young with Hearing Solution Centers. And today we're going to do a three-part series on Bluetooth hearing aids. Coming right up. Okay, so when you consider hearing aids, there's an extra feature. Now, I want to share with you, I've been doing this for more than 30 years. My old standby to make an adjustment was a screwdriver. That's all I had to have. And then hearing aids became more programmable, which means I would plug them in a little bit and did 9 or 10 adjustments. And then I had the digital ones, and then, the digital ones that had 115 different adjustments. And, in the last few years, now they're all Bluetooth. There's so many crazy things that happen, and we have patients who struggle through this. Now, as an audiologist here with Hearing Solution Centers at heartulsa.com, we're going to take care of that. But I want you to know a little bit about what happens to this. Now, we've used ReSound to help us out with the videos. They have these really cool videos. Now, I'm going to show these videos. We're going to do the 2 of them today. And we're going to show you on the ReSound app that you can go get. Now, as Audigy, we use Attune, AGX Attune, or you can use the ReSound Smart 3D app for these hearing aids, okay? For the ReSound hearing aids. So first off, I'm going to go through this little video here. And we're going to go from the beginning of this video. Now, so when you pair your Apple devices, you're going to first take out your phone and have your hearing aids with you. So you want to make sure you have a fresh battery in there, or if you have the rechargeable, you're set up for that. So you're going to make sure that's okay. Next step is make sure that your hearing aids have at least a 20% charge if you have rechargeables. Move forward a little bit here. We're going to make sure your Bluetooth is on. Guys, this is super important. Do not turn off your Bluetooth for any reason all the way through the life of your hearing aids, because every time you turn off your Bluetooth, you're going to mess up the connection of your hearing aids. Okay? So once you get onto your Apple settings, you're going to click on Settings. And it kind of just helps you, taps you through this. And we can have this video, you can kind of look back at this. So once you tap Settings, you're going to arrow down until you get to, now in the past it was General, but nowadays it's come over to Accessibilities. So the newer kind of things, we'll talk just accessibilities down there. Then you're going to tap all the way down into hearing aids, okay? It says MiFi hearing aids or hearing aids. Either one is fine, okay? And then you're going to tap on the model of your hearing aids. Now, they first will say GN or anything else like that. You'll tap on the hearing aids, and then you're going to wait a second, and it's going to ask you to pair. You click Pair. And then you click Pair again if you have the second hearing aid. So you pair and pair again. Now, I always give it a little bit of time for it to read both of the hearing aids so that it has the ability to find them. And you want to have all these little check marks. You see those little green lines all the way down below there. And so as you pair and you're paired in and you're hooked up, you know you're in good shape. It'll show you connected on the bottom down there because it's blued out. So on mine it says Scott's Hearing Aids and it says the ReSound blah, blah, blah. And it's connected through there. If it's not connected, you're in trouble. Now you're going to open up the ReSound app, okay? You're going to click on the ReSound app, and the next step is to wait for it to go through its iOS settings. Now it's going to find the hearing aids, and then for traditional types of hearing aids, it's going to go through and click, say, you have to open and shut the battery door. Now on rechargeable hearing aids, you would put your hearing aids in and out, and it finds them, and then they will find the hearing aids, and it will bring it up and suck them into the program. That's the crazy Scott way of saying that. So as you're kind of looking back at me, one of the things that I do, this is something that we do in office and really want to be able to help you with, because that's very important for us to be able to help you make a difference in your life. So we can do this kind of stuff for you. But I want you to see what that is. And you can always refer back to this video to know a little bit about that. So first step is making sure that your Bluetooth's on, make sure that you get into your settings. You're going to go to accessibilities, and then it's under hearing aids. And by the way, they keep changing they change the software, and you'll have to change along with that. And then you're going to tap the connection, and it's going to pair and pair. So you're pairing the hearing aids inside of the Apple device. Now, what's different that we need to talk about is the Android phones. Now, each of the Android phones are a little different in how they will handle that. Some of the Androids, what you will do is you'll go into the app itself. So you'll go into the ReSound app and let it pair itself inside of the app. Now that's kind of crazy. I know that sounds weird, but it is how the Android does. Now see, the native software of the iPhone takes care of that kind of stuff, whereas the Android has a different way of handling that. And so the app will pair it for you, okay? And it will have you go through some of those last steps. And so those are a couple things that you kind of do. And once you're in, your phone will come up, and I'll click on the device right now. I'm clicking on it, and it's connecting my hearing aids, and boop, it comes up, and it's a big red screen on there, as you've seen on your phones. So there's a red screen, and it's not spinning looking for the hearing aids. Now, one of the things that I always tell people, you got to do this once a week. You got to turn off your phone and turn it back on. Now, if you have a newer iPhone, you're going to have to go into General. So you go back to Settings and General, and then go down to Shut Down. It's the bottom one. You'll shut down the phone and turn it back on. People ask me, why? There's something wrong with the hearing aids. And here's the reality. Bluetooth gets attacked. Your phone gets attacked by Bluetooth signals all the time. Your phone is always looking for Bluetooth, like you're gonna add a Bluetooth now, you're gonna add a Bluetooth now, you're gonna add a Bluetooth now. And you move from your car to your home Bluetooth and your hearing aids and all these different things that you might hook up to. It's always asking that question. Now, it does run down the battery, but frankly, it doesn't run down the battery anywhere as much as you doing something like this when you close out your app and you close out all of your apps, and then you come up here and you go into your system and you reopen an app. And reopening the app, that actually uses more of your battery life than any type of issue worrying about Bluetooth. That's the fascinating part of this. So that's the basis of what we have to start with. I always tell people, turn off and on your phone once a week just to clear out the kind of crazy thing that can happen, okay? Now let's move over just to a few orientation pieces. So as you see the orientation screen, it's going to give you a couple things. Again, the Smart app, the ReSound app there. And in the ReSound app, it has several screens. I know it says 4, but it's several screens depending upon the hearing aid that you're in. On the bottom level, there are Home and Status, My ReSound, and More. On the home, it's where it gets to where you're going to do most of your accessibility points. Okay, and you can swipe or push the button depending upon which way that you want to go. You could push the button up on top there like the little green hand tells you, and you could kind of go over here and swipe over. So you can swipe over and move to the next program. For instance, the restaurant program in that way. And so you swipe over and get into the next program, or you can go back to home and you can kind of get into that circumstance. The next one below is called Status. Now, when it's whited out there, that means it's hooked up correctly. Whether it's hooked up to your iWatch, like I have an iWatch, or your TV device, which is up on top there, or the hearing aids, if it's all whited, it's good, okay? Now, if the low battery thing comes up, then you've obviously got low battery in your hearing aids. and it'll tell you the charge on the rechargeables. So you'll see that indicator screen with that. Now, if there's something wrong, obviously it'll have a little red icon saying, uh-oh, something's wrong, whether you're low battery or you're not hooking up correctly with that. The next screen is called More. Now, a ReSound, you can have different things, and we're going to talk about each one of these a little bit more, but you can learn more about the app. You have a guided tour that you could go through, and it has tips for the iPhone. It also has request assistance. Now, when that is set up by your audiologist or by us, which we're hopefully we're your audiologist, you can request assistance by us. And we're going to go into the system and actually set up an ability for you to go directly through there. Now, the last screen that most people are not going to have to worry about too much. If your demo mode is turned on, then you're messing up your hearing aids, okay? You're not really hooking up there. That's just looking at the demo ability. But there's guiding tips, and there's, auto activate for favorite programs. There's a whole cool sets of things that you can do in there. Now, and it also looks at your sound settings. So for instance, down below, it has general, about, legal information, support. I mean, frankly, you're not going to worry about that kind of stuff. But those are some of the basic ideas that happen. So again, what we talked about is you want us to help you do this. And by the way, this is something we do all the time. And just recently, now we're in September, or actually October of 2020, we're close to the election, and we've had new phones that come up. For instance, right now, and I'm not trying to beat up a phone company, I'm just telling you right now, the Samsung S20 is a nightmare phone for us. Now, hopefully Samsung will get control of it and send up an update, but it is a nightmare for us to hook up, and they don't hook up really well. Some phones do that, whereas the Pixel 4 does a great job of that. We have the S71, I had a patient come in with that one. It's great for that. The S11, the S10, those are fine phones for hookups. But every once in a while, you get a bad phone they didn't really think it through as effectively as you wish they would. Now, as of today in 2020, the iPhone 7, the iPhone 8, the iPhone 10, the X, the 11, those are all fine. But we have patients that walk in here with 4-year-old phones. An iPhone 6, the iPhone 5. I even had a guy iPhone 4. Now, I haven't seen an iPhone 4 in a very long time. And he's mad at me that the hearing aid won't hook up to the iPhone. Now, let me just kind of give you a little brief idea of what he was struggling with. You see, iPhone, or Apple, is not even updating the iPhone 4. They're not going to do any updates to it. So it's not even updated. So you have the ReSound app or any other app on there, and you won't hook up. And he said, well, I don't throw you away because you're old. I'm like, are you serious? And he finally kind of calmed down a little bit. I said, like, listen, sir, you got an iPhone 4. You got to update your phone. And he kind of, okay, struggling with the idea. But sometimes you gotta update your phones, okay? If you have an older phone and you have a new hearing aid, you might have to get a new phone. Now, what will happen to you is that the iPhone, right now, iPhone 5, iPhone 6 are starting to have little issues, little creeped up issues. And that is actually telling you you've got a problem. We'll have that same thing actually with the Android. The S7 sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. The S8 sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. They don't keep up with the older technology to hook up to the new stuff. And so that's something that we have to keep up with as audiologists all the time, and we're happy to do that for you. So come and see us, talk to us about it at heartulsa.com. You can leave questions, we will answer them as best we can, but realize you can do a lot of cool things. Now, we're going to show you much more in the videos to come. So subscribe, like us, and leave us comments. Thank you so much.